in part 2 of the SBAC final for tomorrow, the first thing you want to do is look at the exponents. And it says part A, write the problem in expanded form. Now, x squared in expanded form really means x times x. Y to the third really means you're going to repeat the y 3 times. Now you get to the parentheses, and you have to be careful. This 4 symbolizes how many times that parenthesis repeats. So x to the 5th and y squared repeats 4 times. So x to the 5th means x times x times x times x times x, and then y times y. Now since that big 4, or the exponent of 4, is outside the parentheses, that means you have to do this part 4 times. So 1, 2, there's 3 times, and then 1 more time. Now, using the properties of exponents to simplify for part B, that basically means when you multiply all the exponents together, you add the exponents. And if there's no exponent, then there's really a 1. So as I told you today, you want to tally up how many x's you have and how many y's you have. If you tally up the x's and you count all the 1's, you should get x to the 22nd, and then y, there's 3, there's 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. You should get y to the 11th. And then that would be your final answer. And on the final, if I ask you to show your work like I just did, if you draw the 1's as the exponents, that is good enough work for me. Now, for the rule for problem 2, you want to look at problem 2, and that's a negative without parentheses. So a negative without parentheses really means a negative 1. So you could rewrite the problem as negative 1 parentheses 4 raised to the 6th power. So in part A it says write the problem in expanded form. You write that negative 1 once, but however the positive 4 gets repeated 6 times. Now once again for part B, all I'm asking you to do is rewrite it. Times 4, times 4, times 4, times 4, times 4. If you add the exponents, so it's 4 to the 6 again, and negative 1 times 4 to the 6 is negative 4,096. And that's your final answer. Now for problem 3, it's a little different because there's parentheses. And what parentheses means is that there is no negative 1, but the base is negative. Because it's inside the parentheses. So in part A, when it says to write the problem in expanded form, that parenthesis -4 raised to the 6 really means -4 repeated 6 times. So if you rewrite it one more time and then throw it into the calculator, you should get a different answer than you did in part 2. Which is 4,096. Now for part 4, it asks you to compare the answers to problem 2 and 3. Are they equivalent? Explain why or why not. Since I'm doing this on my iPad, I'm not going to actually write a complete sentence. However, they are different because one is positive and one is negative. And for the explanation part, you have to say something about the negative being inside the parentheses. When the negative is inside the parentheses, that means the base is truly negative. So since it's raised to an even power, if you look here, 6 is an even number. Your outcome will be a positive number. However, if there's no parentheses, it really means a -1, like example part 2. So the base is positive, but at the end, you still have to multiply by a -1, and that's why your answer is a -4,096. So something along those lines, as long as it makes sense and it's in complete sentences, you'll receive the full points.